Welcome back, friends. Very exciting episode. We are finally putting on the decking boards to the deck that is bigger than our entire house.
Last episode, you would have seen us build all the framework for this deck. This week, hopefully, we'll be able to get it done. Fingers crossed there's no issues, but we think it should be pretty smooth sailing.
We have a really good weather forecast. It's gonna be hot, but it's gonna be sunny. So no complaints. We're just gonna get straight into it and make the most of as much shade as possible.
So let's get into it. Now that the tiny house build is in full swing, I figure I might as well start dressing the part. Time to get stuck into it. For the deck boards, as much as I love a hardwood finish or getting like a really rich timber, the environment here ends up being so harsh, particularly being incredibly wet, but then also the sun that we do get is crazy harsh. I just don't know whether I trust the longevity of them, particularly because we do plan on taking this with us when we end up relocating the tiny, whenever that may be. We want it to last. So because of that, we've gone for a composite decking and we've chosen the tawny color from Bright Decking. Another added benefit of the composite decking is that they're screwless, so you don't actually see heads of screws puncturing through the decking boards themselves, but they've got a certain different clip system that allows it to be really clean and hidden. While it is really nice, at the same time you have to be incredibly careful, particularly this first piece as I lay the border, to make sure that it's perfectly flush with the edge of the deck, because then off that board I'm making everything else run parallel with it. Okay, that took quite some time, but pretty happy with how it is. There's a little bit of movement at the moment, but then once I end up fixing them down, they'll be nudged as hard as they can up against the clips, and we should be sweet to go. I've still got the other border to do, but this one is the one that we're working off all the way to the house, so definitely the most important. God, I am cooking. This sun is ridiculous. The border is finally done. I'm really happy with how it's looking. Hopefully I can just now get into a bit of a rhythm with just laying these boards. I've got my starting point. The shade's almost here. Let's get into it. Just realized I need to add the little anti-creep stud things on the real long planks. So thankfully I only have to undo one or two. It's not the end of the world, but definitely need to remember these. Otherwise I think slowly they can creep, for lack of a better word, and change your gaps in it. We don't like creeps around here. So kind of annoying, but hey, realize it now, not later.
All right, what a day. We're starting to lose a bit of light now. And we haven't gotten too far, but we're making really good progress. So I think we're just gonna tinker away here. See you in the morning. What are you doing here, Lay? You're watching from afar, huh? Oh, you're a good boy. You're a very good boy. We've decided to give ourselves a day off today. We've had really good headway on the deck, but we had some funky weather and we decided, let's just go for a surf, let's do some life admin. And when we were in town, we picked up our latest power bank from Ecoflow.
This is the Delta 3 Plus. Now, obviously it's a fair bit bigger than the River 3 that we got a couple of weeks ago. Now, the main reason for this is to power some bigger appliances for longer periods of time. So this also coincides with a really exciting package, which is our fridge, which has arrived this morning. This guy offers 1 kilowatt hours of power and has up to 13 output points, which is insane. That means we're able to obviously power our fridge, which is most important. We're also going to get our Starlink plugged into it as well, because we sort of want that on all the time. Even with all that extra power, I'm so shocked at how tiny this thing is for how much power it has.
This also means that if we needed to, we could just throw this in the back of Bruce or Nigel and go for an extended camping trip, which is really cool. That's one thing that we love about these portable power banks, is they're so good for at home and then on the go.
The only thing left to do, plug this guy in and go grab our fridge. While we don't have a full electrical system set up in the Tiny, the Delta 3 Plus combined with the River 3 UPS will be enough to keep our appliances going. We're so excited to be able to start running a fridge and internet to really start making this shell of a house feel like a home. Even with a bigger capacity, it still only takes around an hour to charge, charging from 0 to 80% in just 40 minutes. So in the short time it takes to set this fridge up, we'll be ready to power it along with 99% of all household appliances. Head to the link in our description to find out more. Day 2. Got a good feeling about today. I reckon I can get into a really good rhythm. It's a cool start to the day, which is a very nice change for what we've had the last few days. But of course, I must throw the frisbee first. Come on, bring it in. There's frisbee. Where's the frisbee? Yes, I know, it is very exciting. Yes. Yes. Good boy.
Making amazing progress. Sun is slowly creeping
You're in a race.
We were just saying how enjoyable it was working in the shade with the breeze. Sun's coming in, so we've just got to keep going and hope that we can just keep working in the shade.
I think it's going to beat us, to be honest, but we'll give it a good crack. Oh, that's tight. I don't know how I'm going to do these next ones. We basically have a deck. Let's forget about the other side for now. I've got one board left on this side, but I want to look at it with a fresh brain and eyes tomorrow because I'm going to need to finesse the corner with the 45 and also try and make it really smooth around this corner too. But for now, we can comfortably walk in and out of our little home onto our lovely deck, and this is really what it's all about. This is the main reason we want the deck, is the living space that we can just walk seamlessly out here and enjoy the afternoons. I'm cooked. Calling it a day, tools down, and we have an exciting thing that we got to pick up tomorrow as well that's going to make this deck even cooler. Another really big consideration that I knew of, and it's in the installation guide, but it's something that I didn't even realize how much of a difference it would make, is as the decking boards change temperature, they fluctuate in size dramatically. So the gaps when you're doing butt joints really need to make sure that if it's hot, they're like really nice and tight to each other. But then all of a sudden, if it gets cool, so last night, the gaps then spread apart. So if you end up giving yourself a bit too much of a gap when it's too hot, once they really cool down, the gap will be almost too much of a gap. So at least now it means today when it gets really, really hot, I can try and tighten up those gaps where they should be, but then I can also watch it as the temperature cools tonight. And all I need to do is go to either end and give them a bit of a tap or give them a bit of a pull to try and make the gaps all perfect. Otherwise there'll be different gap sizes all over the joint. And then once I've done that, I can finalize the perimeter, make sure it's super swish, super parallel, the gaps are good, we've got a little overhang. And the biggest thing, which is the most difficult, is getting those 45-degree angles on the corners right, which takes a lot of fiddling. But I'm hoping once I've got the internal now really dialed, that outside edge is bang on, this should just fall into place with a little bit of tweaking.
Hi. Hi. Hello. Do you want to show everyone some of your tricks? Sit. Good. Shake. Oh, good boy. Spin. Oh, no. Can you sit? Sit. Spin. There we go. Very enthusiastic. Down. Roll over. Yeah. Center. Center. Oh, good boy. Boop. Good. That's all for now, huh? What else can we teach you, huh? What else should we teach you?
So I've just spent an excessively long time fine-tuning everything because I haven't technically screwed anything down to finish. It's all can be slid back and forth at the moment, but their spaces are really good. So I'm happy with how everything's looking, and I have one more piece to go for the base of the deck, and hopefully it just slots in. Lovely. Lovely. It fits. Happy with that. Now with the deck done for the most part, I'm definitely not really close to being done just yet. I've got a fair bit of excess deck material that I did plan for, and I'm really keen to actually build some movable bench seats so we can make like an L bench, as well as be able to move them to face each other. You can put a table in between if it's for like a dining setup, but I'm also excited because it means I can start to block off the end of the tiny house as well. We don't love how much white there is. It sticks out so much in amongst the trees, but we also don't like the external door being visible straight up against the deck. So that way we can have a bench seat in front of it the majority of the time. When we do need access, we can move it out of the way, and it'll just sort of finish off the deck nicely and almost put like a little bit of a barrier there. We can push them together to make a bit of a day bed. We sort of want it to just be a bit of everything. So I'm gonna get cracking on framing those out, and then I'm gonna be using mainly fascia panels for the outside of them. And then I've also got to divvy up the fascia panels to finish off the trimming on the deck as well. Heaps to be done. Look at this guy. You're obsessed. Now, this is my trusty book that I have all of my drawings in. Most people probably don't even understand them. Sometimes I don't, but we get there in the end. So I've got some rough plans for these bench seats to try and make it nice and seamless with it all. So hopefully I've done well. Oh, my specs. Oh, thanks. I feel like what you never really see is the beginning of a day when you've been doing a lot of it. It sort of seems to drag on before you even get to make your first cut. But hey, I'm there. Smooth sailing from here. Okay, in typical Northern Rivers fashion, it just poured down rain. So I had to pack everything away, and now the sun's out again. Sometimes it really keeps you on your toes living in a rainforest. Now it's gonna be extra, extra sticky. All right, did I get it rain on yesterday afternoon? Yes. Did it rain again this morning? Yes. But finally finished that one as well. So I've got both bench seats done, but we've got a bit of fear again that there's going to be a bit of rain. So I don't really want to paint them with bitumen paint just yet, but it means I can get onto the fascia around the deck, which is super exciting.
Time has come for the most exciting part. The reason you're all here, what you've been waiting for. The hidden reveal.
Pretty excited about it, clearly. This is a spot to put an inbuilt bathtub that we're also going to be able to cover up so that we're not losing space on the deck.
A lot of you said a cold plunge, and
it can be.
I kind of like that idea. I mean, maybe if we just fill the bathtub with ice, that'll count.
Hey, there you go. We've got an ice bath, you got a warm bath.
Yeah, so thank you for those recommendations.
Now, the risky thing was there was a delay in getting the bathtub. However, I had to do the framework for the bath without having the bath, which was kind of scary because I went by the dimensions online, and we all know that dimensions can be slightly different to what they are. We now have the bath. How many times have we said bath? And now we just need to make sure it actually fits. We're sort of at the point of no return, because if not, I think we'll just, I actually don't know what we would do, to be honest. We'll make it work. We'll make it work, whatever it is, but the moment of truth is here. Let's see if it fits in.
Now, the tricky thing here is going to be doing all this before the next bit of rain comes. I'm hoping it all works.
Grab it.
Sorry. Oh.
All right.
Where are we? I'm putting it under, hey?
Yeah.
How do I do this without getting my hands caught?
Snug. Let's see if we can get.
Oh, it's going. She's snug. It's what we want, though.
She is snug.
Oh, all right. That's one way to do it.
Oh, it's so close. Safe to say we will not be returning this bath.
Brute force and good attitude. Oh, so the idea is that it's going under this lip here. But I think the sides are just, it's like a perfect fit, but getting it in there. It's so close. I don't know if we're gonna be able to do this.
I think it's working.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no way. When in doubt, shimmy it out.
You just gotta shimmy sometimes. Who knew that would be the life lesson from today?
Deck building with Glenn. Just shimmy it out.
This is not a tutorial by any means. Probably get the bath first. That would be my first tip. And then cut your deck to size. But hey, we're very close.
Oh, don't break it.
I'm not.
Oh!
All right. We're in. Easy, just like that. If you've got any tips about putting your bathtub in, don't even worry about commenting them because I'm not gonna do it again. So all that's gonna do is make me feel terrible about how I installed this bathtub.
You know, Glenn, what you should have done is literally...
Not valuable now, it's after the fact, it's already in.
What you should have done is literally anything else, any other way. But,
Yeah, more shimmying early on, that's all I accept in the comments. Nice, that looks pretty good. Else lives somewhere like a rainforest will know. You put something down for less than a day and you've already got someone that's made it at home. Hey little fella, I'm gonna have to move you though soon, mate. But enjoy the morning, I'm gonna work on something else. Plan is, and I'm sure there's better ways to do it, but being in deck mode, I'm basically treating this like a deck. So using deck boards on the top, I'm using fascia on the side. I'll be able to chuck the deck boards on top, use the spaces and basically go the same methodology as before. Look at that, another guy trying to make this his home. I'm not done yet. You can make it once I've finished. Hey. I swear, every day we discover cooler and cooler creatures. Like the other day I saw the coolest gecko in the toilet. Oh, Leo, don't eat it.
One thing we're really not sure of, and I would love your input on this, is if we should have a step there. Because the door is raised up because there's a step on the inside, but then I just don't know if there should be a step to make it look like it's all uniform. I'm kind of leaning towards having a step, but Glenn's kind of like, oh, it's kind of pointless because it's not like you have to step up that high. I don't know. I'm in two minds about it. I can't decide. So let me know what you think, if we should put a step there or not.
It's done. I am absolutely chuffed. I had a vision in mind and I thought it was going to look pretty cool, but it's actually exceeded expectations with how much it's sort of elevated the whole look of the deck and living space. The fact that they're movable I really love. Don't get me wrong, they are very heavy and they could have been done lighter, and we're not really planning on moving them much. However, obviously to get access to the door underneath here we're going to. And they have one more thing to do, and I've been putting it off for a while, and that's doing the trapdoor lid for our bath. Now with the deck done for the most part at least, we've jumped into town, headed to the nursery and picked up a bunch of stuff because we really want to make this deck look great, and we thought, well, we might as well make a little garden bed to run on the front edge as well. Hopefully we've got some green thumbs. This is the first garden we've ever had.
My thumbs are feeling pretty green.
Yeah, I feel like we've got some pretty green thumbs.
Yeah.
Let's give it a go.
Yeah, lost looking in your eyes, a little shook up at the sight of you. It gets me every time. And when I'm swimming against the tide, you're throwing me a line, pulling me back to you.
Done. What a feeling. Look at the little guys. Hopefully they do all right. As you say, I've never done a garden before. I'm open to advice. I'm not expecting the mulch to last forever there. Obviously we get a lot of rain, but it's more to just make sure they're holding that moisture and giving the young little plants the best chance they've got. But the whole point of planting plants that are completely all around us is that they should thrive in this environment. But we want to make it look as like natural as possible. We don't want it to look like we've got this perfectly groomed garden here. We almost want to look like we're nestled in amongst the forest. But now I have the worst part of any job, is cleaning up just all the setup that we had. So offcuts, tools, equipment, spare stuff. You don't want to do this, you just want to have a beer. But I should clean all this stuff up this afternoon. I have a couple of like fine tuning things that I want to do just to really make it good. And then we'll actually show you what it all looks like finished. I cannot wait. We finished.
This feels amazing to just be hanging out on our deck.
Unbelievable. I'm like genuinely so stoked with how it's turned out. I mean, we really wanted to take our time with it and we didn't want to like cut any corners or anything. The colors come up really beautifully. Even though it is a composite, it still is very natural and seems to fit in nicely with this environment, which we're really pleased with. Off the back of helping Max with his deck, I did actually learn a few things that did help with the planning of this deck. Now, one of which being something that a lot of you guys commented on as to why we didn't continue the deck all the way to the very end. A couple of reasons for that. Because we do want this deck to be movable, obviously they're not concreted in, they're in movable feet, so that eventually we will be able to pick it up and move it somewhere else. I made them into 2 rectangles, as I already explained last video. Now, if I wanted to make a longer rectangle, I would have needed to create a join in the longest length of timber that I could get my hands on, which starts to muddy things up in terms of how you actually put it all together, and it also makes it a really ridiculous length for transporting afterwards. We also need to be wary of where our compost toilet is going to go and how we actually empty it. So up the end there is a place that I'm gonna need to get access underneath the trailer to be able to empty the compost bin.
Really exciting stuff.
Yeah.
But in terms of exciting stuff, because there's enough space on that end, we actually have plans to turn it into something really cool. We're not going to share too much just yet, so you'll have to wait and see, but we promise it's going to be very exciting. Hi, Lay. Where you been?
Where you been, mate? What you been doing? As for the bath, I am beyond happy with how smoothly it all turned out. I was a bit worried. In my mind, obviously, everyone starts a project with the idea that it's going to be flawless and seamless and everything's going to look good, but it's always a pretty big risk once you sort of commit to it. I couldn't be happier with how nicely all the boards have lined up. The level is super nice. I do have one question for the community, and there's the reason why I haven't actually finalized the mechanism for lifting up the trapdoor or the cover for it. Now, at the moment, what I do, the end piece isn't secured down, so I can just lift it up, then grab the frame and lift the entire thing out. While that makes sense now, it's not something I think that I want to be forever. So I'm throwing it out to you guys to give me some ideas. I had thought of a handle, but I can tell you right now, I'm gonna break, I don't know how many toes on a handle sticking up. I thought of maybe like a hidden boat handle loop, but that also seems impractical and I don't know whether I want there to be that in there. So please, if you've got any ideas to how I can secure the end board, but then also be able to lift it up, bearing in mind it is quite heavy because it has to support weight. Worst case scenario, we keep doing what we're doing, but I would like to have that board fixed down. So give me your best ideas. And I've learned from the past, don't make a mistake on a video because all your suggestions become pointless. So I thought I'll hold off and wait to see what you guys have to say. The bath technically can't be used just yet, which is a little disappointing, but we need to put our plumbing in too. So thankfully it's going to be really simple, our plumbing setup. So we can't exactly have a bath right now, but it's just waiting to be finished.
We're also planning on making this a really beautiful space to have dinners, coffees, friends over. So we're gonna either build or maybe find on Marketplace a round table, big table to put here, get some cushions going. Oh, we're so excited to just, finally have a space for us to enjoy, friends to enjoy, the whole commune to enjoy. It's really exciting, and we're so grateful that you've come along for this whole process and hope that you really enjoyed watching us build a deck for the first time.
Woo! The first project is officially done on the tiny house. Now our attention can shift to inside. We've got a lot of tedious jobs ahead of us to get this thing going.
So we'll see you guys on the next one.
You are my heart.